What's going on, everyone? Kevin here with Bullish Bears. In today's video, I'm going to be covering Apple. We're going to be doing some analysis, and I'm also going to be covering what and where Apple is in the whole AI race, right? So we know Nvidia, Microsoft, even Meta, which was just a social media company only a year or so ago, is now stepping into AI with the whole Meta Ray-Bans. So where's Apple when it comes to AI? We have Apple releasing the Apple Pro, the Vision Pros. Those are the big goggles. You know, people joke, they say it looks like a ski mask, looks like ski goggles, but they're really advanced, right? It's like having a whole computer set right on your face without having to worry about where's my monitors, where's this, where's that. You could have 4 monitors right here. I mean, that's really something that's amazing and truly fascinating. Now, it is bulky, it is something that is heavy on your head, but again, it's a start, right? So Apple has its foot in the door yet again to something that could be so far out. But Meta also has its Meta Quest that is similar to Apple's Vision Pro, but the Meta Quest has been out before the Vision Pro. So we have to remember Apple is sort of slacking in this department of AI. Nvidia has a full strong lead. I mean, there are many other stocks and many other companies that are doing much better. As for Apple, I do believe it's still the top 2 company. It's just behind Microsoft as one of the biggest companies in the entire world. So Apple will always be up there. I mean, it's very hard for such a giant like that to fall, but we have to see where the future holds for Apple. I mean, nothing's going to replace the iPhone. The whole green text, blue text debate, there's so much going on with Apple, Android, Microsoft. There's just too much. Google, again, all these different stocks and all these large caps that have their foot in the water or have already dived right into the AI interface, but we haven't seen nothing stupendous or outrageously crazy from Apple other than these Vision Pros, which, yes, are great and really, really amazing. But where is their version of GPT, right? Where is their advanced Siri that really learns to speak with its owner, right? So like they have autocorrect, sort of has some AI built into it. So if you text something often, it could sort of fill in those words. Why isn't Siri picking up on those things yet, right? So where is Apple? What can we expect from Apple? But let's get into some analysis and really see where the stock has potential to go, whether we are bullish or bearish. Alright guys, so onto the analysis. Whenever I want to do some analysis of a chart of a stock, I want to understand the higher time frame. So I'll start with something like the daily and work my way down. Some people could start on the weekly to really see an even larger picture. But me personally, I feel like the daily is okay. The weekly again gives you a nice strong trend. We have this pullback. We're in a bit of a wedge, right? This could almost be a bull flag until we get a push higher. But it all depends on market structure, right? So we have all these basing candles before sell-offs, basing before a sell-off. But now this past week, we had the basing the week prior. We had the sell-off on this week. But the sell-off really didn't hold too well. And if we're looking at that other week's low, we didn't even hold below it. So now let's break it down to the daily and really see what's going on, right? So this pivot right here, we broke it, held below it for a moment, but we ended up closing Friday above that 179.25 level. That's a strong level. A lot of traders ended up shorting the stock right over here and ended up trapped in the market. And I'm sure as we see, a whole lot of strong volume is coming in. So it's something to really be aware of. Is this buying volume because we've been in a bull trend? Or is this selling volume and people just got trapped here and we're going to be expecting a pullback? Something I would be expecting for this week on Apple is a bit of a push higher. I do want to see a short squeeze happen. That's where everybody who was shorting or buying puts on this downward move will end up trapped because we have a strong impulse move higher. So that's something I'm going to consider to look out for. I'll break it down to the lower time frames too, and something I'll mention when I'm trading and looking at equities, which is stocks. I like to look at them with the regular trading hours, not the extended trading hours. Extended trading hours, I like to look for futures because those are open for those extended trading hours. So let's look at, we have the 4-hour time frame, we have the 3-hour. Again, we're just sort of breaking it down. We're looking for some zones, some levels, and something I'll point out as well is we've been creating all these lower highs, but every time we try to break these lower lows, we're failing and we're being bought up and bulls keep taking us higher. So that's something I'll mark out for you guys to see. We're going to use the circle tool for that. So we have all these, this was our higher high after we had our higher highs from the uptrend. Then we started creating some lower highs. We created a lower high right over here. We created another lower high right over here. And we just continue to make these lower highs, right? So that shows us that bears have been in control to a point, but these lower highs have been squeezing because we haven't really been breaking and making strong lower lows. Every time we make a lower low, like I mentioned before, we end up being bought up. Look at this lower low here. Buyers took it back. Look at this lower low over here. This was a gap, right? The market opened here and buyers bought it back. The market opened down here on Apple. The buyers bought it back. And look at the rally after that too, right? So everybody who was short from that previous day low ended up trapped in the market, and the market rallied from there, taking their liquidity. Don't be liquidity. Use liquidity. React to the market, wait for the market to react to these levels, right? So now we're seeing something similar to over here where we break some previous lows. So we broke a previous low. We ended up pushing back into the zone. I really want to see us sweep these lower highs on this time frame. This is the 3-hour time frame. Could even mark it to the 2-hour time frame. So I want to be aware of these previous lower highs, and I want to be using them as potential targets or areas where I look for consolidation in the market. But I really want to see Apple above 181, 182.57, 183.92, and then 185. After that, I will want to see strong continuation in the market, and I really do want to see a continuation. Like I just said, the market has been so bullish, the trend has been our friend. We should not be looking to short something just because it looks a bit bearish. Although, yes, we have been creating these lower highs, but we have been failing to hold lower when we are creating these lower lows. So that's my analysis on Apple for this week. Keep an eye out for that. Trade the levels accordingly. Be careful. Understand your risk management. Take care, everyone. Happy trading.